Our Trans-Africa journey is still very young at this point. For our second and third days of the expedition, we carried on up the west coast of South Africa. These first days, we were still acquainting ourselves with the truck and the camping life that we had signed up for the next few months. We camped at a beautiful campground in the heart of the Cedarberg Mountains, where we got on a few hikes and enjoyed stunning views from the pool. Then we made some serious ground as we pushed north to our first border crossing into Namibia. And here's how it went. Good morning, guys, and welcome to our second day of the Overland Africa expedition. And again, yesterday was a very soft start to our trip. We only had about an hour and a half drive out to Stellenbosch, which just really feels like the suburbs of Cape Town. These beautiful wineries and vineyards out here, beautiful mountains. And we stayed at a hostel last night, so we haven't even really broken out our camp or tenting gear yet. But today we're gonna finally make some moves up the coast of Africa. We have about a 4 or 5 hour drive up to Transvaal, which is still within South Africa, and we're gonna go to the Highlands campground, which is like an epic overlanders camping ground in South Africa. So should be pretty cool, and it'll feel good to kind of like make some moves up the coast of Africa. So let's jump in the truck and start day 2 of the expedition.
Don't be in a rush to get anywhere. We will be stopping after a couple of hours, maybe 2.5, for toilet break, maybe a little mini lunch stop. We'll stop at a servo, so it'll be nothing fancy. It'll be a pie or something that they have available there.
It is just about 1 p.m. and we have had a 5-hour drive from Stellenbosch out to Transvaal, and we've made it to the Highlanders overlanding camp. So we have this really nice campsite here. We drove through some vineyards and we're gonna have a pool, and it's just a really nice campsite here, and we're gonna be spending the next 2 nights here. So tomorrow there's the option to do some excursions, and on our drive here we drove past the Cedarberg mountain range, and tomorrow possibly hiking the Cederbergs. But right now we're going to set up our tents, and again we'll be spending the next 2 nights here, and this will be our first time setting up the tents from the Overland truck. So yeah, let's set up the tents. We have just set up the whole camp here, and we have our tents all set up. And again, at the Highlanders camp, we're on all of this farmland, and you have this beautiful view of the Cedarberg Mountains off that way. And yeah, so this is how we're gonna be living the next 3 to 4 months in these tents. So pretty cool to see it all set up like this. And then again, this afternoon, we have a pretty free afternoon here at the camp. There's a pool, they have a little bar area up there. And then later this evening, we're gonna cook off of the truck, which again is another thing that we're gonna be doing most of the time when we're bush camping. So I'll show you guys a little bit of that later this evening. But yeah, looking forward to just relaxing and living the camp life here. So yeah, let's go check out the pool. have our campground all set up, and we've come up to the Highlanders Resort up here, and we just have this beautiful pool overlooking some of the Cedarberg Mountains and the vineyards that surround us here. And there's a nice little bar, and you're just elevated up above these beautiful farmlands. So again, this afternoon we have off, so we're just gonna chill here, relax, and then again tomorrow we don't even have to pack up camp. So it should be just a really nice, relaxing afternoon at the Highlanders camp here at the base of the Cedarberg Mountains. So yeah, we're gonna enjoy the pool, and we'll see you later tonight when we do our first camp dinner. We have just had a nice relaxing afternoon up at the pool at the Highlanders here, and this afternoon we're dividing our team up into different cleaning and cooking groups, and tonight I'm on the cooking group. So I'm just gonna give you a quick overview. We're gonna be doing this every other night, basically cooking off of the truck here, but I'll give you a little glimpse into what it's like to cook off the back of the Oasis Overland truck here for our first time. So that is just a little glimpse into some of the camp cooking that we're gonna do, the little kitchen setup. And again, most of our nights, especially when we're bush camping, we're gonna be cooking out of the truck like that over an open fire. And here we just have this beautiful view of the Cedarberg Mountains off in the distance there. So we cooked up some coconut curry, we're gonna eat that. But yeah, that's about it for tonight. We're just gonna enjoy some of the camp food there. Just wanted to give you a glimpse into the camp kitchen. And then tomorrow, there's some activities that they offer here at the Highlanders, and I'm hoping that I can go out and do some hiking in the Cedarberg Mountains tomorrow and show you guys some of the hills that surround us here. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning, guys, and welcome back to Travail, South Africa here. This is where we just camped at the Highlanders campsite here. And this morning we woke up right on this beautiful valley that has the Cedarberg mountain range just across the way there. And up behind the camp on the other side of the highway here is a little bit of a hiking trail that you can do just from the Highlanders camp. So it's about 13 kilometers or about 8 or 9 miles hiking up and over the ridge here, but should give us some nice, beautiful views overlooking the valley. So yeah, I think pretty soon here we're gonna start. We have just had about a mile hike along the little canal past some of the beautiful farmland and vineyards there, and we've crossed the main highway, and we are going to hike about 1.5 miles up to the top of this ridge line, which will give us some nice views overlooking the Cedarberg range. So yeah, let's hike. We have been hiking for about 20 or 30 minutes up here, and we are slowly working our way up the edge of this ridge here and getting a nice view overlooking the valley here of Tuval. And we're on a bit of a jeep trek most of the time, so the trail's not too bad. And yeah, just kind of like slowly weaving our way up to the top of this ridge where we'll get some really nice views overlooking the valley. It is just about noon and we have made it up to the top of the ridge here, and we have this really nice view overlooking the valley, and you can see some of the layers of the Cedarberg mountains off in the distance there, and you can see our camp is just right down in the valley here along the river. And yeah, so probably only took about like an hour and a half or 2 hours to hike up to the top of here from behind our camp. But yeah, it just gives us a little bit of a nice overview of this region of South Africa. So yeah, anyways, I think we're gonna just hike back, and again, today is not a travel day for us, so we're just gonna get another nice afternoon to relax by the pool and just enjoy the camp and enjoy not being on the road and just relaxing a little bit. And then I think this evening we're gonna do a traditional South African braai or barbecue at the Highlanders camp. So yeah, let's hike back and then just enjoy the afternoon here. Good morning, guys. We have just finished up our second night here at the Highlanders camp, and this has just been a beautiful place to spend the last 2 nights and a day here, just relaxing by the pool, having a nice dinner last night, and then just a beautiful campsite. Nice to like learn how to set up our tents and then use them for 2 nights in a row before packing them up. And yeah, just a very, again, soft entrance to our overlanding experience. I think the next couple nights we're gonna be bush camping, so definitely not having the amenities that we've had here. But yeah, today we're packing up the truck, and at about 8 o'clock this morning, we're gonna hit the road. We have about 400 kilometers left until the Namibia border, and I think our goal is to get as close to the Namibia border as we can. So yeah, packing up the truck now, and then we'll continue our way up Africa.
We leave on a good time, and if it's dark, if it's light, if we're comfortable, you know, setting up a bush camp late. If not, we'll stay just before the border. But me and Steve will let you know by the time we get to Springbok how we're looking for time.
Just a little bit after noon here, and we have been driving for about 4 hours north up South Africa, and it's been a beautiful drive. It's felt like we've been driving out west in the US. You just had these beautiful buttes and mountains as we were leaving the Cederberg range, and then just like these vast open rocky areas as we headed up to Springbok, which is like the last major town on our way up the N7 to the border of Namibia. So we are just stopping here in this little town for some supplies. They have a few like grocery stores, some camping stores. So anything that you need here before we have about an hour and a half drive up until the Namibia border. So yeah, let's get some supplies and then we'll hit the road again. It has been a long and dusty road here, and we have finally made it to the Namibia border. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon, and we are going to cross the Orange River here and head from South Africa into Namibia. We have just crossed out of South Africa. We've gone over the Orange River there, and we have made it through Namibia. And with Namibia, they actually just introduced a visa system that you have to pay for, and you can apply for it online, but it costs about $85 or $90. So anyways, we've made it through into Namibia. Welcome to Namibia. And we have about a 20-kilometer drive until we're going to find our first bush camping site tonight. So yeah. We have just driven about 20 kilometers there from the Namibia border, and we are in our second country on this Oasis Overland expedition up the west coast of Africa. And this is going to be our first bush camping experience. We've just pulled over to the side of the road here, and we are just in the middle of absolute nowhere. It's just beautiful, so remote, so rugged. So we're going to be setting up the camps on the side of the road here. We're going to be doing our first like bush camping meal off the side of the truck. So yeah, let's set up camp and just had our first sunset over the Namibian desert, and it was just beautiful. You can see behind me, we just have this perfect gradient of blue, pink skies, and there's just along the horizon, you have all of these ridges and the big yellow truck, and all of our tents just look so cool out here in our first bush camp of our Trans-Africa adventure here. So yeah, as you saw, we have the little kitchen set up off the back of the truck there. All of our tents are lined up right along the road here, but it's been a long day of driving today for sure, but it's just a beautiful landscape. So I'm in between resting on the truck, reading, and then having my head out the window, although the last couple hours were really dusty as we finished South Africa and entered Namibia here. So anyways, that's about it for my first video here. It's only been the first 4 days or so, and it's been a very soft entrance into the Overlanding Africa trip here because we've just had some like wine tasting. We had that really nice campsite, a nice hike in the Cederbergs, but I'm really looking forward to a lot more bush camps as we're continuing up through Namibia into Angola. And yeah, it's gonna be an amazing time going through Namibia here. Lots of really cool landscapes to show you the next coming days. So yeah, we're gonna camp, and then we have a really early morning tomorrow where we're gonna start exploring through Namibia here. So yeah, that's it from South Africa and the first part of our overland trip. We'll see you guys in the next one.